Hillary Clinton got smacked down by the new boss man at Twitter, Elon Musk, after she spread a conspiracy theory that Republicans are to blame for Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, being attacked in his San Francisco home. And the story that Musk posted with his tweet to refute the Hildebeest is priceless. You are not going to want to miss this one. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Rich, and in this episode of RPW Media, we're going to be discussing how Hillary Clinton is still a degenerate piece of crap who chimed in posting an LA Times piece that tries to link the violent attack on Paul Pelosi to Trump supporters. Now, Hillary Clinton put out a tweet on Saturday where she said the following, quote, "The Republican Party and its mouthpieces now regularly spread hate and deranged conspiracy theories, kind of like what she just did. It is shocking but not surprising that violence is the result. As citizens, we must hold them accountable for their words and the actions that follow." Now, first off, everything she just said is a lie. It is not the Republicans who are spreading hate and deranged conspiracy theories. That would be the woke left. I mean, talk about crazy conspiracy theories. This is the same broad who started the whole Russian collusion nonsense lie just to get her illegal private email server off the front pages while she was trying to run for president. It has been proven that Hillary Clinton paid for the dossier, or dossier for our liberal friends, which started the whole FISA warrant thing to spy on Carter Page and yada, yada. You know the rest of that story. That was the biggest political conspiracy theory scandal of all time, and she has never been held accountable for it. In fact, she still lies about it. Now, what the Hildebeest did not count on was Twitter's new boss man, Elon Musk, responding to her outrageous tweet. Musk replied to her conspiracy theory tweet saying, "There is a tiny possibility there might be more to this story than meets the eye." And what he did was he attached an article by the Santa Monica Observer. Now, Elon has since removed the tweet, probably because so many people in the Praetorian Guard misinformation fake news media have come out saying that the Santa Monica published a fake news story. And that fake news story is supposedly the one that he put forward. Okay, it is titled, "The Awful Truth, Paul Pelosi was drunk again and in a dispute with a male prostitute early Friday morning." And underneath it says, it quotes, "Paul Pelosi stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend." Yeah, right. Now that's what the dispatcher had said to police, okay? It was only a matter of time before the Democrats and their friends in the fake news media would come out of the woodwork claiming that the Santa Monica Observer is this right-wing rag and you shouldn't take anything seriously and yada, yada, yada. But my big question is, how many people invade a home and then disrobe? Think about that, okay? It was reported that this DePape guy was seen in his underwear when the police arrived, okay? The dispatcher did say that Pelosi said that he didn't know who the guy was, but his name was David. He doesn't know who he is, but his name is David, and that he's a friend. What does that mean? That spells male prostitute to me. So everything you're going to hear about this is a QAnon conspiracy theory. That's what they're saying. They're making a conspiracy theory up because this guy supposedly years ago was into QAnon. Okay? But before I get into the story, okay, I want to look at some other things, some other stories that the Observer has published. Okay? This supposed right-wing rag and a fake news site. So they have driver falls asleep at the wheel, vehicle crashes. Okay? So that's one. Pedestrian dog struck in traffic accident at 22nd Street. That sounds like real fake news. Mountain lion raids Brentwood golf course. All right. The Berkeley student breaks into Nancy Pelosi's house in San Francisco. Now that's the original story that they posted. So if they're a fake news site, then I guess the actual story that all the fake news is posting is actually fake news, right? Redondo Beach man gets life sentence for producing child pornography. Okay. Santa Monica PD responds to a stabbing near the Santa Monica Pier. Okay. So I think I've just established that it's not a fake news site. All right. But let's go over this anyway. All right. Let's take a look at what the story says. And like, okay, I don't know if this is true or not, but they went to the trouble to print this. Okay. And they would know better than the rest of the fake news media that's not from the Bay Area. Okay. So they write, as San Francisco's gay bars closed at 2 a.m., two gay men met in a bar and went home together. Happens every night in the city by the bay, except one of these two men was married to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. See, the Praetorian Guard cannot allow this to happen. They can't. It's Nancy Pelosi. They can't allow this to happen, all right? He writes, I might disappear for telling you the truth. If I do, you'll know why. But here's what really happened early Friday morning in San Francisco, in my humble opinion. So the guy says, in my humble opinion, this is what he believes happened. And it makes sense because if we go back, let's go back to Hillary's tweet, okay? So we have below her tweet, we have Dinesh D'Souza, who says, number one, assailant in his underpants. This is not Dinesh making this up, okay? This was all reported, okay, by police. Assailant in his underpants, all right? Number two, Paul Pelosi knows his name and tells police he's a friend. Number three, assailant asks, where's Nancy? To make sure she's not home. Number four, Pelosi takes bathroom break from spat and makes 911 call. Conclusion? This guy was a sex partner or male prostitute. Now we have Tim Young, who says, just have Paul Pelosi release the video to clear it all up then. They have security video, obviously. Here's another one. D.W. Wilbur said, as a cop for 11 years in St. Louis, I never once worked a burglary where the broken glass and debris at the entry point was outside the residence. Exactly. Buds Patterson writes, you and your husband created this environment by relentlessly attacking your political opponents. You're still doing it, for God's sake. The Republican Party had nothing to do with this, and you know it. He directed that towards Hillary. Okay, so let's get back to the article now. So it says, it's been a rumor for years in San Francisco that Paul Pelosi is gay. There's nothing wrong with that, except that he's married, okay? David DePapi is said to be a Castro nudist. Quote, the lunatic who allegedly assaulted Paul Pelosi is a Berkeley resident and a former Castro nudist protester and hemp jewelry maker. Sounds totally MAGA Republican to me. This from Twitter, okay? Okay. He says, okay, so here's the theory, as related to me by a source. Castro nudists are a group of really radical gay male prostitutes that parade around naked with, rings. First of all, the police did not come in response to an alarm. They came in response to a wellness check. So someone called them to check on Pelosi. When he didn't answer the phone, the cops broke the sliding door glass to get in. Pelosi was struggling with the suspect, who was in his underwear. Pelosi owned the hammer, not DePapi, or the male prostitute, was doing something Pelosi didn't like. And then there was the press conference when they didn't know the mic was on. During that, a reporter confirmed that the suspect was a gay Castro nudist, but authorities told him he couldn't use that. Why? Because it's Nancy Pelosi's husband, so the truth doesn't matter? He says, now tell me something. These people are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Nancy is third in line for the presidency. You don't think they have the most amazing security? And by the way, when Pelosi was in that drunk driving accident, he had a young man with him. And that too was covered up by the police and the press. This is true. I had heard that too. How would suspect DePapi have been able to break a window that without triggering an alarm? He didn't. The police broke the window to gain entry. There was only one hammer and it belonged to Pelosi. And only one cop quoted the perpetrator saying, where's Nancy? None of the other sources said that happened. It was one cop, okay? And one of them could easily have broken that window. Remember, There was no alarm triggered. How would the pappy have gotten into that house without doing that? The cops smashed the glass at the entry point. So you see, this is just another case of a Democrat, a high-ranking Democrat, her family got in some kind of trouble. It was a dispute. It was a very embarrassing moment. And so everybody's covering it up. So now you have Elon Musk, who, because of the power of the Fourth Reich, the misinformation fake news media, all pouncing on this story, right, saying that it's false. So he says, hey, I'm just going to delete it, right, because too many people are saying that it's false, whatever, right? So now you're going to have the Twitter leftists, the blue check marks, the a-holes that want to go to that other tribal, whatever the hell it's called, all right? So they're all going to say, oh, you see that this is the new owner. Well, you want to know something? I believe the story is true. There's just too many things that don't make sense for any other kind of story. The guy didn't break in. The guy was in his underwear when the cops arrived, for goodness sake. What do you think, Paul Pelosi held him at hammer point and took his clothes off? Why? I mean, come on. Now they're delving into this guy's history, saying that he's a QAnon conspiracy theorist, okay? Well, apparently he's a Castro nudist, which means that he's a left-winger, all right? So I'm going to put the link to the story down in the description. So please visit rpwmedia.com to read all of our stories. So that's it. Thanks for being here, and we will see you in the next one.